Hey, welcome to the Doc Analyzes Anything, this show where science and psychology meet. We analyze behavior, human behavior, any human behavior, including taking a photo of the dryer in the laundromat because you forgot when you started it. I read the
Is there
first one I get, guys. Oh, the
is
timer. Maybe the
yeah,
timer.
like the timer.
That makes sense. I mean,
That's not that odd.
No, it's not odd at all.
That one wasn't that fun.
well, the thing
No.
is it's like it'll just go until it's done. It's not like it'll run. Well, I've never done laundry at a laundromat. Well, it won't just keep going because that makes no sense, right?
No, it's like you wanna walk away for a minute, so you take a picture so you don't set a timer. So you can walk
Oh,
away,
so
I
it's like
don't
if
know.
you're leaving the premises.
Or just going to another area, running multiple machines. I see it more
Yeah.
like in my first apartment where I had to, like, go back down 3 stories to get to the laundry room, and then every once in a while, someone would take your stuff out to put theirs in, and I would just stand there waiting for them in the dark. Not really,
Well,
but
because you had to we had to put quarters too.
yeah, it
So
was quarters, yeah.
yeah, so it was running, and it was like, what the hell, man? Like, there was like 30 minutes left, and you took it all out, and I wasted $1.50 on this or whatever it was.
That was always that part would annoy me more than anything. Not the people would take my stuff out of the dryer at school, like when I lived in the dorm. But when people would just leave their stuff in there all day, because then you felt
Mm,
like I felt bad because I didn't want someone to think I was like rummaging through their laundry. But at the
yeah.
same time, it gets to a point after I've checked for like 3 hours and there's stuff still in there. I'm
No.
putting it on the table and I'm using it.
Yeah. If it's getting weird or awkward and you're obviously not just running 10 minutes late coming back down, it's going on the table.
Yeah,
I don't care.
yeah.
If there's a basket there, maybe I'll put it in the basket for you, but that's if I'm
Put it
being
in someone else's
nice.
basket
Yeah, I don't
accidentally.
care whose basket that is.
This
Not
is
my
I
yours.
just don't.
problem.
I just don't
Congrats.
like getting caught rummaging through people's laundry.
Well, I
That's
don't
a
want to phrase
different
it like
behavior.
that. I think you phrase it like that on purpose, but yeah, if I was
I
actively taking it out,
We
that
are
would
picturing you not even having laundry to do, going to laundromats and taking pictures of the timer so we know you know when to come back and then rummage through their stuff without getting caught.
yeah, you left out that piece of the prompt of other
It felt it felt too autobiographical, so
Oh, it's another story for you. Bradley Meow Meow slips into a laundromat unattended.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Juxtaposed against the winter scene outside, things the high heat cycle was just starting on the inside.
I feel like he's walking up with a branch to clear his footprints up to the door, you know?
walking like just waving it, scratching
Who
through.
would play you in a biopic, Brad?
What's a biopic? Like a
Biopic, like a yeah.
Like a movie about you. What actor? You don't have this ready to go in your back pocket?
hmm?
I know Steve has this ready to go in his back pocket.
I do not, but
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of like you're trying to say someone that would match my personality.
or
I mean,
looks.
someone who can act like
If
you.
they're good actors, it shouldn't matter. Voice and looks are like all you're really looking at.
Mhm.
That's a tough one because I don't know like a ton of young actors. Like
I
I'm
don't
trying
know
to
a
think of
ton of young, good-looking actors
well, no, I'm trying to think in general, and like
with
it's one of
perfect
those where like if you
beards.
didn't ask me like in this moment, if I wasn't on the spot, I'd probably have a decent option.
I want Tom Hanks regardless of what he looks like. I just want him to
I mean, of course, the first
That
one that I that came to my mind was Brad Pitt, but it's because it's my name,
yeah,
but it
yeah.
does not match at all.
Mm.
uh,
Okay, just wondered.
who do you pick for him, Kyle? Or who do you pick for yourself?
For Brad, I'd probably pick, I see a little Matt Damon being able to pull you off. Um
Like Goodwill Hunting Matt Damon.
If he shaved a cat and glued it to his face, maybe.
Yeah, all
Maybe,
right,
maybe.
fine. I'm getting rid of most of this later
I
anyway,
j
so get your
I'm
licks
gonna
in while you can.
I'm just w pondering my phrasing of, Matt Damon being able to pull you off. I don't know if I like the way that sounded.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "Yeah, you can." Uh,
I
I
prefer
think
the
we've gone
term
too
nerd.
far.
part of the issue is, again, I haven't seen any movies recently, and I don't know names of anybody nowadays. So, like,
Mm,
yeah, like I could see uh Leonardo DiCaprio back in his Catch Me If You Can days
mhm.
playing a Dr. Meow Meow.
Hmm.
That's fair, that's fair. Are you
Not
just going with the
nowadays.
rounded face with blonde hair, essentially?
And the childlike glee in your eyes.
The
Oh, I
childlike
was
glee
thinking
is the
if we're
big
talking,
one, yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm thinking more of What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
I'm
I
thinking
see
more
I see some Benedict
Kyle says,
Cumberbatch
"I
there
see it
too.
now."
I see based on how you look right now at the facial hair, what was the one with the bears, where he gets eaten by the bear? That's what I see. Uh,
Grizzly Man.
It starts with
no,
an
yeah,
no, it's,
What? It's Grizzly
The
Man.
Revenant. Re
yeah,
uh,
Reverend, yeah,
Reverend.
That's the
yeah.
wolves. They get eaten by
No,
wolves in that one?
no, there's a lot of bears. The
But he
wolves
gets
one is
eaten.
with Liam Neeson.
That's what I'm thinking of. What are you thinking of?
We're thinking about the one with DiCaprio.
I'd choose Liam Neeson for me.
I think for Brad, we should go back to Leo, but when he was in the Man in the Iron Mask, that's the one right there. That's the look for him.
Let me look this up. I
Perfect.
don't know that one.
Yeah, Reverend, he gets mauled by a mother grizzly bear. I just looked it up to double check. So
I don't know. I don't know
You
movies.
should if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. That's a good movie.
Okay. Let's have a
I
watch
might
party
actually
I
today for
think
this episode.
for Kyle, we're going with McLovin.
With Judah?
what?
Just no,
Is
but
it
he has to have like the
he has
same.
long hair in this.
In which
What?
one?
The Man in the Iron Mask.
It's not a. It's just because he's wearing a mask, so he couldn't see his face. That's why I said it.
I don't see a mask on him in, like, any of these pictures.
Here we go. I got him right here in the
Th-
Aviator
Yeah,
VHS.
Wait
I
a
see
second. Say
Bradley.
it there.
Look at that. I see Bradley there.
yeah. There you go.
There he is.
You don't
I got
look
a
mean enough
VHS for
though. You
everything.
don't have. You
Yeah,
can't pull
my
off the
face is
angry.
too well, maybe when I shave all this, maybe it'll thin my face out a little bit. I won't look so pudgy.
I don't. Yeah, I don't have. I don't know. I have no
Steve,
idea who
last night after I left, slam that Taco Bell.
he was talking about making some poor life choices after he left last night. Like, actually, you were
Yeah,
talking about the night before where you had just got tons and tons of Taco Bell. That's what
No,
you were
not
talking.
tons. I got a lot, but it was my friend that got a lot. Kyle, hear this, and then let's get this started. So last week, me and my friend were both hungry after we golfed. And so I texted him. I said, "Yeah, man, I got a lot of Taco Bell."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Yeah, don't even get me started." He got a Supreme Lux box that comes with like a chalupa, a taco, and a burrito, I think,
And the cinnamon
and the cinnamon
twist.
twist. So he got that. Then he got a free Doritos Locos taco. He got 2 cheesy double beef burritos, and then they accidentally put together 3 extra hard shell tacos and an enchilada burrito.
And he said
Oh
he couldn't
man.
eat that last burrito. That last burrito was too much. That was the one.
That's a lot. I haven't had Taco Bell in many a year. Uh,
No.
I do love it though. I really
A
do.
couple years ago, I had a Mexican pizza from there, and I've always been a fan of the Mexican pizza. And before that, driving to ABAI, our conference out in Boston one year, they had just brought back the Mexican pizza, so I made a special stop just for that. And it had been
Yeah.
so long before that that I didn't even know that the Mexican pizza was gone until I saw a sign saying it was back. And I'm like, oh, I guess I should go then.
Back like it never left.
Yeah, I had no idea it had been so long. So there you
But
go.
you didn't like it?
Well, it's delicious, but it is not something I'm gonna choose to stop for very often.
What
That's
is your
fair.
top fast food, Kyle?
Man, if I have to choose fast food, I go with the Wendy's. It's usually my go-to. Um, My wife has really gotten me off the fast food, though. I was doing Big Macs, like, every other day for a minute there.
Yeah,
Fast food is bad.
we only eat out, like, once a week usually, and then it's not usually fast food, and then it's only on, like, long car rides that we do the fast food, and the kids want McDonald's, so then I'm trying to find, like, a sub shop or something nearby so I don't have to eat the McDonald's.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
All right.
Alright, can
I
we
saw Steve get frustrated when I asked that question. So apparently we've wasted too much of his
we're, like
lecture time. So
we're
Steve,
we're
what are we talking about today?
we're 10 minutes in, and you're starting to ask new questions that are completely, not on topic,
You better get
although
on the topic now, or else I will ask another one.
I will say we're talking about extreme behavior today, and so maybe eating that much from Taco Bell
Yeah.
is pretty extreme.
Okay.
Uh,
An extreme thing. So how do you show self-control when ordering at fast food? Because you never want to order too little, and so ordering
It
too much is
well,
always inevitable.
n
is
no, I purposely
extreme
order too little,
is
but
extreme
yeah,
still one of the flavors of hot sauce you can get?
eh,
Mm, no,
Remember when they
because
had those
I think the
packets? It was
hottest
like
is hot, and then there's Diablo, even though I think
yeah,
the hot is actually hotter than the Diablo.
I think
I
there
don't
was an
know.
extreme back in the day.
Someone look that up. No, so hello, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Steven Sparks, if you don't know by now from our banter here, with my co-host, Kyle Sturry and Dr. Bradley Manuel Clements. Uh, we should, I think, talk about what we mean by extreme behavior here before we start just throwing out extreme behavior because I was coming up with like I had a few examples that I was going to talk about, and then like tie that into what my premise was. But when I did like a search for some more examples, uh, it looked like a lot of it is the work we do is people consider extreme behavior, even though it's just normal to us, like physical aggression, verbal aggression, pica, sexual deviant behavior. I guess to the average person, that's extreme, but it doesn't seem that extreme to us because that's what we do on a daily basis. So, what I'm talking about here more specifically is outliers that seem to violate the variables of, control in the selection of behavior that we've talked about before. We'll go over again real quick. Or, like in general terms, you have an individual that does something that's either kind of seeming out of the realm for them, it's very extreme, or that just makes little sense to the rest of society because it's so extreme. And so, we'll get into this, like, talk a little bit more of the story, but the one that really came to mind for me with this is the idea of the Lisa Nowak, who's the astronaut who had a significant other. I think she was actually married to someone else at the time, but was, in love with this person. They ended things. And then, at least the reports at the time, who knows if this actually occurred or not, she said it didn't, but reports at the time that she put on a adult-sized diaper, maybe even one of the ones that they give the astronauts during takeoff, since you can't get up to use the bathroom if it happens during that time, to drive, across from Houston to Orlando to confront her former lover's girlfriend, new girlfriend. And so we'll talk about the story in a minute, but that's one of those things that, like, not only did you just drive across the country when you had all this other going on in your life, but also you went to the extremes of potentially putting on a diaper so you didn't even have to stop for pit stops to get to this person. That's the level of extreme we're getting at here today, and kind of how motivating operations or motivation in less specific terms can seemingly overpower everything else that usually controls behavior in these situations. So, thinking about it, not just extreme, but like this doesn't make sense based on all of the other things going on in the world.
Like, to my own detriment, I'm going to do this thing,
Yeah, and so I guess
potentially.
it probably makes sense to get into the sciencey stuff first to really talk about it because we've talked about before. There's competing contingencies. There's the before condition or motivation, discriminant stimuli, that sort of thing ahead of like beforehand. There's the behavior and then the reinforcing outcome, and then there's the competing contingencies that work the same way. Of all right, the punishment involved in this, or other things that should be reinforcing that are more likely to occur, or that are should be more reinforcing, and all that goes out the window because this one thing overpowers all of it and then kind of takes over. So, let's see, Dr. Mia, man, you've been in these conversations before. Do you remember what we mean by discriminative stimuli?
I'll break it down, and so um, if it's discriminative, oh god, that
You can just say no if you don't want to do this, but
no,
I'll
I'll give it a
allow
go.
it.
So
It's
that
fun every
has
time.
so if it's non-discriminative, I can't say it. Pretty much, it has. Say it one more time.
Discriminative stimulus or stimuli.
So I'm going to go with that. It like is within a certain area because like something being discriminative, and then stimuli, some like input going in to fuel a response.
So yeah,
Nailed it.
generally,
How'd I
what
do?
it wasn't specific enough, but you're not horribly off the mark
Give
here.
me a GPA. 2.5.
One
You
point
got
nine.
you said
You can't do that.
you didn't flunk out, but you got to see the professor after class.
C's get oh, I was gonna say C's get degrees.
uh, no, so it's a stimulus in the
You
environment.
pervert! You're saying that I need to earn extra credit?
I'm saying we're gonna need you to work a little harder before the next exam if we're gonna allow you to pass this class.
Okay, go ahead.
I was not offering you any extra credit. No.
Well, if
Uh,
you are, I'll take it.
so a
I don't
stimulus in the
know.
environment that signals the availability of either reinforcement or punishment. So you're discriminating the situation based on that stimuli. Uh, so if you're making food, the timer goes off on the microwave, that ding telling you that the food is done will then mean that reinforcement of opening that food, taking out, eating it will be reinforcing rather than punishing because it's not raw or frozen or something like that. Or the example I always tend to use to make it a little bit simpler for new students is grandma's in the kitchen. She's the discriminative stimulus for if you ask for a cookie, you're likely to get it. Versus if dad's in the kitchen, he's likely to say, no, you're going to ruin your dinner. He's what we call an S delta because he's a stimulus in the presence of which it's unlikely to be reinforced. Or if there's nobody in there, but grandma needs to be there to reach the cookie, she's an SD. The lack of grandma is an S delta. So you're discriminating the situation to determine if reinforcement's available. Uh, So, we're talking about that being overpowered potentially. We're talking about the probability, size, or delay in reinforcer, or even the way it's delivered, not accounting for the response. Like, say, if I go in, try to steal a spaceship from this astronaut lady and fly to the moon, the likelihood of me making it through security to get to the shuttle is next to zero. The probability is low. Um, the actual size of the reinforcer, like, yeah, it's cool I got to fly in a spaceship, but now I'm dying. So, like, is it really that large of a reinforcer? It all depends on the individual. Uh, the delay, in this case, there's no delay, but sometimes, like, all right, your dollar today versus $100 20 years from now, do I care enough about that $100 to not just take the dollar today?
Mm.
And then the delivery. So we've talked about it briefly before, but you have the different schedules of reinforcement. So fixed ratio, number of times of you respond, do a behavior, and then you get this outcome. So the pigeon pecks a key 20 times, they get the grain of food. You clear so many trees out, you get paid per tree. Now that you get this much money after you clear out 10 trees, something like that. Um, it produces a high, steady rate of responding and then a temporary pause afterwards. Versus a variable ratio where you don't know how many trees you have to cut down, but you're going to get paid after an average of 20 trees. Could be 15, could be 25, who knows? And that creates it so there's not as much of a post reinforcement pause. Kind of think about the slot machine, how many times you got to pull the lever before you actually get the win. Um, Am I boring you, Kyle? What's going on here?
I'm laughing at Brad. I think you lost Brad until you said slot machine.
Well, what I'm getting at here
I'm
is
not a
there are a
gambler.
lot of different
It's not
variables.
gambling when you know you're gonna win. My man Rayman practically bankrupted a casino.
What what I'm getting at here is small nuance changes just in the way that the reinforcer is delivered can determine which behavior will occur in any given situation. Um, and in these cases, we're talking about that motivating operation, the change in the environment that creates both the motivation to exhibit the behavior because of its potential reinforcing outcome and makes that reinforcing outcome more reinforcing outweighs all of it, regardless of the amount of effort, or in a lot of these cases, we're talking about the competing contingencies of losing your freedom, potentially death, or having to live with something that's, kind of, uh, we'll just say hard to live with some of the examples that I've found would make everybody think, you know what, it's not worth it. Why would I go rob this bank? Sure, I could end up with $10,000, but the chances of going to prison for 20 years don't outweigh that $10,000. So why would I do that? It doesn't make sense when you're just looking at the competing contingencies, unless you're really struggling and really in a tight spot
Yeah.
versus um, the other alternatives that may not have as much reinforcement in the moment, but comparatively, the probability is much higher of success.
And that's where extreme behavior is interesting to me because, like, there's always like a very there's always like a part of you that's like, oh, if I could only rob that bank, then everything would be set. But like all of those other motivating operations kind of like stomp that out. But like what has to happen on this side for the scale to tip this way enough for it to be like the most for like reason and logic even to be dismissed at that point. Like clearly there's not a great outcome that's going to come of it. But you've gone from like a seemingly reasonable person to all of a sudden now the motivation is tipped to where this is like the only possible thing I could do.
What is the number for you guys that you'd have to get out of the bank to potentially get away with it to justify you would rob that bank?
I don't
You
like
mean
nowadays the money
yeah.
doesn't go as far as it used
$1
to.
billion. You
There's
know
like
that?
there's like heirlooms in the vault. There's not even like a lot of cash.
We're talking about $100 million for the chance of losing 20 years of my life. There's a good chance of losing 20 years of my life. Like we're
Let's put
talking
it for each, like, so 10 million, and you have a 90% chance of getting away, but each time it goes up by 10 million, your percentage of getting away, it goes down by 10%.
Oh, I
and
would do it. I would do 10 million for
yeah,
90%.
if we are talking 90% chance and I have no morals or other anything else going
No,
on
no,
here is
no. You
just the
still have
public.
you have a wife
No,
and
no, no,
soon
I'm
to be
saying
3
I have
kids.
no morals, and
No
so I have no
scruples.
problem. Yes, I'm fine with robbing the bank is what I'm saying.
Would you be scrupulous or scrupulous? I think it's scrupulous, right? You'd be without scruples.
Scribbles?
Underrated word.
Scribbles? I've never heard it. What is that word?
You don't
Scruples?
how do you not know scruples?
I don't know, Steve. How do you not know some other word that I know?
Scruples, ethical or moral principles that act as an inner guide or a restraining force against doing something you believe is wrong. So I think this should be introduced into the scientific vernacular a little more because it does make sense conceptually that scruples with restrain me from doing something that a high establishing operation might otherwise pad out. There,
Again, though,
Dr.
we've already
Kyle.
we've already established that I have no belief in like a natural order of right and wrong. There's just, social agreement on what the rules should be. And so do I agree with
He
society or
doesn't
not really?
believe robbing a bank is actually wrong. It's just the social norm to not.
Exactly. 100%. Money is a made up phenomenon that we wouldn't have come up with without our verbal behavior. Therefore, it's just human made.
So
And
you could easily fall into a state of supporting anarchy. I'm getting the feel.
we'll get into that one episode someday. I don't
You'd
have a
ride the
problem.
wave. You'd say, "Wow, we're just toppling everything. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's see
but
how this pans out."
the problem with anarchy is there's no true such thing as freedom, because if you then just say do away with all social order, social rules, now I'm in more danger for having my life taken or my things taken than if I just followed the rules and didn't support that in the first place. And so, what is more free? To be able to live your life and be safe from attack on a daily basis, or to not have anybody telling you what to do? And like you could argue it either way. And so I would take having rules in place, even if I don't believe they're right or wrong, to prevent from having to worry about survival on the day-to-day basis.
So here's an extreme then to just give a quick little option. The movie, I've never seen any of them, but The Purge,
Yeah.
like, would that fall into an extreme behavior type idea? Idea?
Well, how about we go through some of our examples here and talk about them, because
You talk,
I was
but as you do, I have to grab something really quick.
I was sticking to like examples that actually exist, but
This
I
cat's
feel like
like,
he left
"What?"
I feel like he left his hot pocket in the microwave or something. He heard the ding like 20 minutes ago, and now the SD is kicking in. Uh,
Do we know why she drove cross country to
so
confront this woman?
yeah, the general thing is, she's been in the armed forces. I think it was Air Force, pilot. Um, and
I know.
what
Sorry,
did
I
she
had to take. Do you not hear me sniffling over here? Had to take an allergy med.
right now? Just could not wait. It's not even gonna kick in by the time we're done. You should have done that a half hour, an hour ago.
You're probably right, but guess what? I did it now, and you're wasting time right now.
This is an extreme behavior. Oh,
Yeah. So she's employed at the Johnson Space Center. Um, this guy breaks up with her. She finds out, supposedly, anyways, that he's dating this new person. I think they think she broke into his apartment and found evidence that he's dating this new person who's uh the insinuation is she feels like she was traded in for the younger model, so to speak. There's a
mm,
younger, beautiful woman she feels like she's being replaced with. And she knows that this person is going to be flying in to the Orlando airport at a certain time. And so, in order to get there in time from Houston, that is why she decided to have to use the adult undergarments to make it there, because otherwise she'd miss the flight and to grab this person. And so, um, this was back in 2007, February 5th. Uh, she was wearing a black wig and a hat to try to disguise herself. She showed up with a steel mallet, a buck knife, a BB gun, latex gloves, 4 feet of rubber tubing, duct tape, garbage bags, and a floppy disk containing female nudes and bondage instructions. A map of a shipment's Cape Canaveral neighborhood. Uh, and then the only thing she actually ended up using on this poor lady was the pepper spray.
oh
And
man, that's like
so
that one hurts the most probably. Well, maybe not, but
yeah, so she walked up to the car that this person had just gotten into, like, was trying to catch her before she got in the car, it sounds like, but, like, sneaking behind, and she got in the car, locked the door, and then when she saw it was her, like, she kinda recognized her, cracked the window, and then she's like, "Let me in, I need a ride," all kinds of stuff, trying to get her to open the door, and when she wouldn't, then she sprayed her with pepper spray, and then she called for help, and security came running over, and officers and that sort of thing. Um, so at one point, she was going to be charged with attempted murder because, she's got this kit with her. They're like, no way this was just going to be a conversation, even though that's what she said.
mm.
Uh,
The classic. I just want to talk.
yeah,
I just want to
Just
talk.
here to talk.
yeah, these
Yeah,
bondage instructions are just for talking, and the garbage bag.
it's the Family Guy scene. Peter has the shotgun. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
So, yeah, she ended up doing just probation, but she lost, her job at NASA. She was forced out of the military in general. Um, but it does seem that it was just the idea of this guy with this other woman was enough motivation to she threw away she was, like, married with kids. She may have been in the middle of a divorce already, I'm not sure, but her children potentially, I mean, had she gone any further than pepper spraying and been charged with more, she threw away her career. You have to think she had very little to start over with after all of this, and seemingly just because an obsession with this guy. Yes, go ahead, meow meow.
I might have missed something. So
That's probably why you were running away to take your pill.
was this guy like was he so she was married with kids. Was this guy the father to her kids or
No.
was he? Oh, so this was like an affair situation.
Yeah, and they didn't go into as many details on what I was reading about the affair itself, but I believe it was another astronaut that she had kind of, like, become obsessed with, fallen in love with, and then he cut the
Imagine how her
ties.
husband felt learning this side. He'd be like, "How?"
I mean, you never know, but assuming he already had wind that something wasn't right at all, having it happen to the other guy instead of him may have been a relief if nothing else. If he was completely blindsided, then yeah, that'd be shocking, but, uh I have a feeling things may not have been going that well in the relationship regardless. So,
Fair,
um,
fair.
so yeah, that's kind of the what we're getting at here is like,
The meat and the potatoes.
yeah, everything, all the other contingencies involved, the probability of being successful here. I mean, it seems maybe she thought she had a better chance than it seems like to me. Uh, the competing punishment contingency. And we're talking 2007. You're going to be caught on video too. You know what I mean? Like this is at the airport.
Right.
Is your wig and hat really going to save you from being caught here? Uh, it just does not make sense, except for if you feel like you've already lost everything anyways. So what's it matter at that point?
Well, and that's where that's where my line of thinking was with, like, when you move beyond reason and really, like, that might be, like, despair might be a good way of describing that, like, when you're just there's nothing else to do. It's also really funny. I don't know if you can really figure it out, but the line of, like, learning history that leads to, like, the seemingly really crazy out there and random things people might do in those situations too.
Yeah, and I was really trying to stick away from those where you're like, all right, this just seems like a mental illness diagnosis or something like that because I sent Kyle a story earlier today because it seems like it's in his own backyard actually,
It's Southern
currently.
Indiana, Southern Indiana. We're good.
It said Fort Wayne on the thing.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
No.
The video the post I saw,
Yeah,
which may or
no.
may not have been real, said it was in Fort Wayne, where
We looked it up
supposedly
and it was said Southern Indiana. My
I don't know.
gosh.
Yeah, look it up.
Please
Uh,
enlighten me.
so the story that I saw that I said to him because I said, "Hey, is this your people?" Thinking it was like right next door because like there's only like 5 people in Fort Wayne as far as I know.
No, we're the second largest city in Indiana, bro.
Yeah, so 10. But no, this guy supposedly was stopped by police after going into his mother's unattached garage, cutting his penis off, dousing it with gasoline, setting it on fire, and then like using that to set the garage on fire.
It does say it Fort Wayne.
Yeah. And so,
Oh, man, I did not
Rats!
know
yeah,
that.
in that situation, you like you have to assume that there was some disturbances that were just missed prior to that. Like I don't think that person like shouldn't have been getting services a long time ago, probably compared to this
Right.
person that may have just snapped. It's a little bit different to me, anyways.
People are like, "Did we miss something before this?" They start
You,
tracing everything back to like, "Oh my gosh, how did we miss this?"
It might have been when he was threatening to cut off his genitals.
yeah, yeah.
Man, no, I
So,
did not know. Yeah. Yep, that's my people then, sorry.
yep. I want to know how close it is to your house too, because
Well, downtown, so really
okay,
close. Yeah.
yep.
I mean, where I live, the summer in Indiana, people finally get outside and, I can't be held responsible for what people do in their own spare time here.
And and this also, like, we have no background story or anything other than the police just found this guy, like, walking down the middle of the street and stopped him,
It
Yeah.
and he
wasn't the
said
blood
we
trail that gave him away.
they didn't say that, but
They
probably.
they said he was saying he'd been stabbed, and then when they took him into the hospital, he's like, "Confession, not quite stabbed,
I have
but
something to get off
yeah."
my chest.
Yeah, yeah.
My mom has a story from when she worked ER, uh, and as a nurse, and this gentleman comes in and says, "I have a problem." She's like, I didn't quite catch that. Will you say it again? I have a problem with penis." She's like, You have a problem with your penis?" "Yeah." "What's the problem?" Well, I tied a wire around it. It should be falling off anytime." So they called the
Man.
doctor over and like, "Hey, you might want to check this out. It might be a psych referral. We don't know." And she stopped the doctor later. She's like, "What was there really like a wire tied out? Was it really turning black and falling off?" He's like, "No, there's a ribbon tied around it in a bow."
Oh, no.
He had a little gift for
He did it.
someone.
He did
So
it.
so yeah, that that's a different type of story. But
Man. On the TMZ article for this Fort Wayne guy, right in the middle of it is an ad for 20 stars who love hot dogs.
I think there should be an ad for the Doc Annis's anything right there in that story. That should be it.
This is where we fall. This is our
Yeah.
people. And anyway,
Um,
yes,
yeah.
that was in my backyard.
All right.
Anyway,
Hey, that's my shed.
Well, that would yeah, that would be extreme. That would be extreme behavior. Although that no, yeah, you're right. No, there's most likely some sort of mental
Yeah, and
illness going on. Yeah,
we're probably gonna find some in some of these. There's gonna be some overlap. You know, you can't
yeah,
just
yeah,
find one without the other. But like
yeah.
another one I saw that really caught my attention. A gentleman named Richard Russell stole a jet. I think it was out. It was either Tacoma or Seattle area, and like a fairly large. It was. They say it's a Horizon Air Bombardier Q400, but it was a large, I think, uh, cargo or maybe passenger plane. He was working at the airport, took off unauthorized, had no training. They had to scramble fighter jets to go with him because they didn't know if it was a terrorist thing or what. And the guy had just decided that, in his words, anyways, he's a broken guy, has some screws loose, and just had enough of this world. And so he was out joyriding. Like at one point, did a barrel roll. He was doing all kinds of acrobatics. He's like, "Oh, look at that! I survived it."
well,
And
yeah,
then
because
after,
then at that point is when they asked him. They're like, "You have no training," and he goes, "No, I
yeah,
just did it."
yeah. And so he flew around for 73 minutes, and then at the end, he's like, "All right, well, I guess I've had enough fun," and purposely crashed
It
himself.
crashed. Yeah, I was gonna say you probably couldn't land it.
He didn't want to deal with the repercussions anyways.
Well,
He had
Yeah.
had enough.
technically, he did land.
Oh, I get it.
Just
Yeah,
I
extra
my
hard
just
I
not
was
without
well.
without the landing gear.
Did
yeah,
not stick the landing. The
right.
judges, zeros. RIP though, respectfully.
Yeah.
There was nothing
And
respectful about anything
no.
he said.
uh, but I
Uh,
mean, they said like in the recording, he sounds like he's having a great old time. Like he's just given up, doesn't want to do life anymore. So he's gonna enjoy this last few minutes,
go down swinging.
and everybody say, "Oh, we can't believe it! Like never saw it coming." And so that's why when like, sure, he obviously had some issues too,
Mhm.
but it doesn't sound like there's a long history of the mental illness or maybe drug use that this gentleman who set his mom's garage on fire is more likely to have had.
Yeah. When you text me for examples, I couldn't think of like a big news story, but I thought of do you ever know like that kid or like that guy who was like so willing to be the butt of a joke that they would like actually like oh I'm gonna eat like a million hot peppers or like yeah like or, I'm an idiot or like they like so self-deprecating like to try and get a laugh out of everybody. You know what I'm talking about?
I've run into people like that, but I always felt so uncomfortable that I wouldn't choose to spend a lot of time with people like that. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I know it's almost like we're gonna keep this person around to act the fool so we can all laugh at them, and that was too uncomfortable for me to want to spend time with that group of people.
Yeah. Yeah, it never seemed like there was a lot of respect otherwise for the
No.
person from the group that was, like, lifting them up in some way, but, like, yeah, it was like, if I don't, like, jump in the snow naked as a kid or, like, if I don't, like, do just something crazy, then everyone's not gonna like me, so they, like, up their game every time there's a hangout.
Yeah, and I mean, I did have friends that would just do crazy stuff because everybody would get a rise out of everybody, but wouldn't it was never to that, like, I'm gonna sit here and basically destroy my self-esteem in order to have people
Right.
laugh, like, not
Yeah,
to that
yeah.
extent.
And that's a good distinction too, because maybe I didn't explain it adequately enough, but yeah, those people who are just willing to, like, be the butt of the joke for the laugh, like, to the point of it's like, "Ah, do you really feel good about yourself doing this?"
Yeah, I'm thinking about the kids in elementary school who 2 of them decided to cut their jeans off at the knee midwinter, like a foot of snow, and then run out the door and roll around in the snow, and there's these newly made shorts, knowing they're gonna get in a lot of trouble, but they still got the reaction from all the other kids, and that's not quite to the same level as me as the one that's like, "I'm gonna eat this really gross thing so you can all make fun of me because otherwise you're not gonna let me hang
Yeah.
out," you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Uh, Another example I thought of, this one happened when I was 19 and the kid was 15, but it was in my hometown. We got this news blast. This kid who had gotten in an argument with his mom and stabbed her 111 times.
In your hometown?
Yeah, it was in like the general area. Like Rochester has Rochester than Rochester Hills, but it's all kind of combined.
Mhm.
And so I was downtown. He was out, like
Yeah.
in more of the outskirts, like in a neighborhood or a subdivision. But yeah, supposedly his mom had caught him, uh, confronted him about pornography on the internet. He had looked up instructions and trying to assemble crude weapons from what he saw online, and then also argued with him about his girlfriend. And during this altercation argument, he just snapped and attacked her with a knife. And I always thought it was really strange too that she was also a psychologist and was, I guess,
Uh,
well known for doing hypnotherapy.
Hmm.
But
Had she ever done it on him?
I have no idea. They didn't talk much about the history because he was, again, only 15 years old.
Okay.
Um, but then he jumped in the car, drove to their, like, cabin in Northern Michigan, and that's where he was found later on.
Alive?
dang.
But
Or
what's that?
was he found alive or
Yeah, yeah, he was taken he's I just looked it up. He is eligible for parole starting in 4 years. He was given
4 years
25
or 40 years?
4. He was given 25 to 60 years because as a 15-year-old who, again, didn't have any history of, you know, mental illness. I don't like the word mental illness, but I don't have a real good of psychiatric diagnosis. We'll say it that way.
Okay, sure,
Um,
sure,
he
sure.
didn't have any real history of that anybody was aware of. He seemed to be a pretty well together, but kind of quiet kid before this, and then just out of nowhere. And again, in this point, you're probably not even looking at the competing contingencies. You're not thinking about, is this logical? What are the alternatives? It's just, I am flipping out now. I am as angry or more angry than I could be, and
Yeah.
afterwards, you're looking at what's going on here, so
Yeah.
And we don't know a lot about, like, emotional responding, do we? Like, as a response to either extinction or, like, such punishing events or something like that, to where there's that point of no return where people just get
yeah,
tears, fight or flight, like.
well, and it is kind of fight or flight. It is what we've talked about before, where aversive conditions, are motivation for aggression, but what I think you're getting is we don't know why you're yelling at the dog when you stub your toe, for one person, is assaulting and maybe murdering, like, a roommate for another person, even though it's seemingly the same type of not that big of a deal type situation.
Right. The phenomenon's the same. I don't play video games really ever, but my son wanted to play Smash Brothers with me, and he's just really, really good, and I kept losing, and, like, without think I lost, and without thinking, I just, like, threw the controller on the ground, and he's like, "What was that?" And I was like, "Yeah, you caught me, man, I rage quit on you." Like, I wasn't, like, mad, but I was like, "No!" And I just, like, chucked
Yeah.
this thing across the room, and he's like, "Well, where did that come from?" And I don't know where that came from, but I feel better now that I did it because I was tired of losing to you, little punk.
Wait, what? Nah, because you piqued my interest. Were you playing Melee?
Yeah.
Okay, who were you playing as?
I was playing it I'm either Kirby or, Bayonetta, who,
Yeah.
I'm
I
Are
feel
you
like
sure
pretty
those
you
are the
playing
decent with.
two.
Melee then?
Yeah, I feel like those
What?
are the 2, like,
Yeah.
when you don't know how to play very well, they're easy to do some damage on people, but,
But I
like,
Shut
don't
up.
know,
I
'cause
know how to
who are you
play.
playing?
I
What's
don't.
that one? Because that's not a Melee character.
Yeah, it's the one where he's, like, wearing the knight mask and with the sword,
It's a
right?
You might
girl.
be
It's a
playing Brawl.
woman.
Oh,
I don't
maybe
know.
Brawl.
It's on Switch. I don't know.
Okay, you're playing on the
I
Switch, so yeah, it ain't Melee.
well,
I haven't
whatever.
played I haven't played this in many, many years, so I don't know either,
I
but
haven't either. But, I used to play it on GameCube, but then he got it on this. But either way, he's Mr. Game& and Watch, little
Oh,
stick
that's a
man.
that's a throwback character. Okay.
Yeah, little stick man, and it's really annoying to see this little guy tossing like 2D bacon on a grill, and it's like shocking you for some reason. I'm like, what? How is that? Bayonetta like summons demons from the underworld to throw punches at through a portal, and this little I'm getting mad just talking about it.
It's the sound effects too with Mr. Game& and Watch that make it just
Oh
hit a
yeah,
little deeper. It's like ding,
yeah,
ding,
yeah,
and then all of a
yeah,
sudden you're getting like 20 damage per each.
yeah, yep. Not fun.
yeah. So there to tie it back, no, there really is
But I rage
we
quit. That was the
yeah.
tie-in.
We do know what's going on in a lot of these situations. What we don't know is necessarily why one may cause a blow up when another doesn't from like one instance to the next. You know what I mean? Like a person's likely to have many instances of aggression or even what people try to call like the microaggression leading up to. But what was different that time? Sometimes you can see the different environmental stressors and things like that, but in a lot of cases, it's like, I don't know why that was so much worse, why that affected you so much worse, what's going on. Sometimes it can even be a lot of stimuli in the environment, like loud noises or other things going on that can make you, fly off the handle a little bit worse. But
My son also, whenever he kicks me out, he'll go, "You just got game and watched." Like, "Oh, you little punk. Go to
How
your
old
room."
is your son?
He's 12.
yeah, that doesn't help that
He thinks he's super cool. Man, this is an aside. He went on a walk with me and my wife through the park the other day, and he never like wants to hang out with us. But he's like, "I'll go on a walk with you guys." So we walked, and like probably 20 different kids at different locations. It's like a big couple acres like trail. Hey, buddy. Hey, what's going on? Like he knows everybody. Like, how do you know all these kids? He's like, I'm just really cool. Like, shut up.
yeah. So you're jealous of your son is what you're saying. He can beat you in video games and he has more friends than you.
He has so many cool friends. I'm just hanging out with you guys right now.
Via web call.
I know it's not even the same with my D&D and my Star Wars behind me.
Well, yeah, that um, that speaks for itself. I don't even have to add on there. I'm not even gonna pile on there. Uh,
Thank you.
when looking at more examples, a lot of what I got was also like extreme survival examples, which those it's a little more clear cut, but that people go to
Yeah,
extremes to survive. Um,
those would be good examples.
like his name is Ralston. I can't remember his first name anyways. Oh, Aaron Ralston, who was oh, it looks like they call it canyoneering. Is that just rock climbing in a canyon, like or climbing a canyon? I don't. I'm
I don't know.
not.
Canyonero is the SUV on The
Yes,
Simpsons. So
I'm just picturing spelunking, but not in a hole, but in a canyon instead. But I don't know. Anyways,
I think it's a fair
uh,
assessment.
he got like, dislodged a boulder that crushed his arm in a like narrow canyon slot, and he stayed there for 5 days trying to get help, and nobody found him. And so he had to use a multi tool to amputate his own arm to be able to climb out and survive.
Is this the Franco movie?
Is it 127 hours or something like
Yeah,
that? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
James Franco. That's a good movie. Well, it's not really a good yeah, it's a good movie, but you don't really wanna watch somebody, like, painstakingly cut off their own arm, and you
Mm,
you have to in that movie, so
yeah.
it's a good part of the movie.
That's the good part.
No, it's like a
Uh,
good chunk of time.
oh, okay. Yeah, so, I mean, like, that's the sort of thing I think a lot of people would just die. Like, how would you get yourself to the point of being able to do that? But, obviously, it's
It
possible.
I mean, if you're in that life or death type situation, I feel like you hit that point and it's not you think about doing it and then you're like, "No, I don't need to do that yet." And then as time goes, you get to that point where you're like, "I have to do this." So it's not like they
Yeah.
spur of the moment thought of it, at least in my opinion,
When I
likely.
was in high school, we would play, basketball in the pool. So we had, like, a pool that we go to, there's a basketball hoop, we'd all play, but we ended up just, like, all, like there's no rules, you just, like, wrestle, dunk each other, jump on each other's backs and stuff like that, just trying to play basketball is just fun, but there was a moment where I was the smallest kid by far in my group of friends, and I kinda ended up, like, going underwater, then I was, like, under, like, everybody's wrestling above me, and I kept like going up, and there was no it was like being trapped under ice. Like I just kept going, and there was no pocket to get air. And after, I mean, it felt like hours. It wasn't obviously hours, but it just took so long. I started getting very panicky and like actually started like scratching and pulling and like I was just like scratching my friend down the back, just like pulling on hair, just like trying to get up. And I finally got up. Everyone's like, "What's your problem?" I was like, I was literally dying. Like I was seeing like
Yeah.
pangs in my eyes, about to pass out.
I remember wrestling, fighting with my older cousins who were, like, 3 and 10 years older than me and, like, feeling like I was suffocating whenever, like, because
Yeah.
I just could not overpower them as a kid. So,
Hmm. Yeah.
um, another one that I thought of or came up was, going back to 1846 with the Donner Party.
Go
I
on.
mean, you're familiar with the Donner Party, right?
Yeah, I know the story.
For some reason, I can't not hear Adam or not,
Donner
uh,
Party of Five
no, yeah, Robin Williams singing Donner Party of 50?
in
Yeah,
50.
or
That's
whatever.
right.
Yeah, and Patch Adams, but, uh, yeah, so it I didn't know as much of the background till looking at it, but Langsford W. Hastings claimed to find a time-saving route to California back when you had to do the wagon train, and, one of the parties that agreed to go out with him was, 87 men, women, and children were part of the Donna Reed Party, who's following a much larger group that was led by Hastings, um, and they went out later than they should have, thinking they had this shortcut that's gonna save them time, and they had 2,500 miles to go on wagon and foot. They lost Hastings' bigger party, got lost, didn't make it to the Sierra Nevadas until October, at which point they're just stuck. The first snowstorm hits, and they lasted for a while, but I think it's by mid-December, they were out of all the livestock, and
I know where the story's going. I
yeah,
remember hearing about this.
people started dying, and so the survivors had to eat the people that were not making it in order to survive the winter until things thawed out and they could continue their path.
Mostly, they ate people who died. On some accounts, they actually murdered some Native American, guides to actually eat them too.
It didn't specify that in this story, but I believe that you're right,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Because you can see the trail or, like, people, like, walk the trail or
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember
Eh
You
driving
walk
out
it, you're like,
west.
"This isn't so bad. What was their issue here?"
I heard driving out west and they'd be, like, signed for, like, Donner Pass. I'm like, "Ooh."
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Uh,
actually that it's a very because it would be viewed as a very taboo thing, but then going back to Steve's view on social norms, really, I mean, like, you see your options in front of you, and if you take a pack of animals, they don't discriminate.
You're probably not gonna like my answer on this. Yeah, like, it is just like a pack of animals, except that what is the illness that you can get if you eat people? Like, it can actually cause physical illness.
Oh, I don't know.
Um,
I know what you're referencing, but I don't know what it's actually called.
yeah, and so there is actually a biological reason not to.
Well,
Yeah, well, he didn't eat
Hannibal will just
enough.
eat the cheeks.
I got one for every topic.
Yeah, hold on,
Although
I'm
I've got
looking
But
it
now.
up.
Hannibal's reasoning was not justified. That was just his what's that called when like a criminal has like a mark? Is it their mark?
Calling card.
Yeah, so that was like his calling
Mm.
card. So
The Sticky Bandits.
we're the wet bandits.
So this is because we're on the fly here, I didn't get to really look up, but Kuru is, according to Wikipedia, a rare, incurable, fatal neurodegenerative disorder that was common among people who were known to practice cannibalism.
Uru. I've not heard of
Does
that.
it say like the cause and why
It's a
eating
prion disease that causes tremors, loss of coordination,
prion
neurodegeneration,
to prion is how that's pronounced?
prion, whatever. It
Dumbass.
says I'm
You didn't
I
know that
am
word?
I am literally reading this
Yeah, but you
while I'm doing it.
mispronounced it. It's a very common word within my field, so that means you should know it.
What's the
Like
word?
scrupulous or whatever.
Scruples.
Scruples. Yeah.
Although I think scrupulous would be a word too.
Yeah, scrupulous is a word. Um,
Yeah, Kyle, you
so
didn't know that?
in this case, though, it sounds like this was spread because they were eating people that had been infected, not because the actual eating of
Yeah.
the people was causing it.
It's
So
And
like
I think
I
that's
might
an
be
about
wrong.
important
wasting disease, and
distinction
so
to it's
wasting
an
disease in deer
very important distinction
is
to
a
make.
prion.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was just a one-off thing, but
I mean, either way, brought about by extreme behavior.
yeah,
Yes.
but it wasn't extreme for their social group is kind of what the point I was trying to make is at least with that tribe, it was normal when a family member died to cook and eat them. And so it was almost like part of the I don't know if it's really part of the burial rites or what, but
So that's funny. So context is important there. So we view the Donner Party as like extreme survivalism, whereas in another context, it's like a rite of not rite of passage, rite of departure. It's
yeah,
what you do when someone dies, whatever that term would
it's
be.
part of the checkout process.
Yes, there you go.
There's also a more um temporary, that's not the right word. Contemporary. There you go.
Contemporary.
Example. Where like rugby it's Uruguayan rugby team crashed in the Andes in the remote area. And there was spent 72 days in sub-zero temperatures, and unfortunately, those that survived made the decision that they had to consume those who didn't survive the accident in order to survive. So
Wow.
it is something that it's not just 1800 frontiersman type of situation that's occurred. So
Yeah.
I think in any age, when faced with that situation and it's either starvation or that, like I hope I don't sound horrible with saying it, but like you do what you got to do.
I I don't know that I have a huge problem with it, although I worry about there being a fine line between at what point you decide to do it, you know what I mean? Is this like,
It's a
12 hours in, I'm hungry, let's
Yeah,
go
no,
for it.
no, 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 come on. No, this is like you've gone almost a week without eating because the rations are gone. You can't live off sticks
He looks
and
dead enough. Cook him up.
well
Do
at
do
well at that point too, you're faced with at what like you can't eat rotting
but
flesh.
it's freezing temperatures, you can preserve this as long as you need to.
Okay. Are you curing the body just in case in
I
salt?
no, I don't think so, I think you're just throwing it in a snowdrift and roasting it as you need to.
You're putting him here. We're not there yet, guys, but just in case, I'm gonna put
Oh my
Timmy in the
goodness.
freezer really quick.
This has been a really fun time.
Oh, yeah. Do you think that you would be more willing to eat a person that how do I state this? Is it easier to eat someone that has a greater attractiveness level compared to someone that you're, like, find unattractive, or would it be just survival at that point, it doesn't matter?
I I think this is playing a role, or the similar question is in The Water Boy when they're cooking the snake. When you're staring at the piece of meat, I don't think you're thinking about necessarily the part that you're eating or what they look like.
Mm.
You're just consuming it. I
It
think
is
the
weird
biggest
having it is odd having chickens now because we eat a lot of chicken. My kids will be playing with the chickens. They like to hold them and run around with them and stuff. I'm like, "This is what we ate, like, last night, dude." Don't say that part." I'm like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you, but, like, this leg right here, that's what you were eating, that
Yeah.
drumstick."
Yep. I don't think our kids, at least at this point, maybe they haven't really put it together, but we let them know, like, "Yep, this is some venison that, your grandfather harvested, and then that's why we get to eat this meat," or
Yeah.
something. Like, "Oh, cool,
Yeah.
whatever."
Yeah.
But who knows? Um, so, yeah, we went a strange path there, but the only
I
other
like it.
examples I had there at all were, like, look at it because of what would just time of year that just passed, looking at the Joey Chestnut eating 60 to 80 hot dogs is pretty extreme.
Yeah.
And in that case, it's obvious it's just because you can do that for the money and the attention and the lore and all those things.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more clear what's going on in that situation, but
Yeah. Yeah, I have trouble celebrating that guy.
I don't know that I celebrate a lot of those things, but the fact that they put like an ad medallion around his neck afterwards. But I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
if that is your way to make a mark and make some money, I don't know that I like him as a person. I don't know that much about him as a person, but at least you found your way to survive, you know?
Yeah.
How
In
many
this
hot dogs
crazy
do you think
world.
you guys could consume in Nathan's? Because I think when I looked it up, dog and bun, it's about 7 dogs per pound, or is a pound. How many do you think you can do?
I don't eat anywhere near as much as I did when I was younger. When I was younger, I could probably do 8 to 10 comfortably, but now there's no way I could do more than a couple.
In a minute?
No, 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 in 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
That's how long they
Oh,
have.
I thought you just meant like when if I was hungry.
In 10 minutes, I could probably do 10 maybe. Maybe tops.
I don't think I could even do that much anymore, but I bet I could have done at least 20, 25 back in the day when I was especially when I was working out like crazy
Yeah.
and, like,
You
eat
think you
2
could
large
just do 25 in 10 minutes?
I think I could have historically, like, there were times where I'd go to dinner with family and I'd have, like, 2 steaks, a salad, 2 baked potatoes, and then still be hungry afterwards, like, but that's, like, lifting weights and playing football back in high school, I was just hungry all the time. So I don't it's been a long time since I've comfortably put back a lot of food like that.
Well,
Uh,
we did it,
re
guys.
regardless, it's probably extreme. I have no idea if there's any rhyme or reason to anything we've just said because we've been sidetracked so much at this point that I don't even know if we got our point across, but oh well.
Extreme
Uh,
behaviors are extreme. Always stay in your lane. Don't stray too far from the social norm.
I don't think any of that is what we're talking about here. I think it's just interesting phenomena where kinda out of nowhere, the motivation of the scenario can kind of send you over the edge and, like, it'll everything else goes out the window. None of it else matters. The things that we normally think about controlling our behavior on a moment to moment basis kind of just get ignored because of this motivating operation or this change in the environment, whatever it is, and that's kinda it. So, just interesting, how that happens, but, let's think about the positive extreme behavior out there, the
Here it
goodwill,
comes.
the extreme, like, ultra marathoning when it's not bad for you, but you're doing it because of the health or, endorphin benefits.
Mhm.
look for the positive examples of all these things and the positivity in life, 'cause you never know when you need to burn down a garage and you're out of kindling and, that's it. You have no other choice, so be careful out
Use
there.
something that's not
Let's
flammable.
Yeah, let's keep it in your pants, and hopefully you never find yourself in that position.
Uh, Fort Wayne's the Paris of Northern Indiana.